John Harden.
Hi, my name is.
Yo, 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 yo. Welcome into a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. It's a 2 for Tuesday. So you know we busy because you know at 11:30 we got David Cobb, DC from CBSSports.com. We're going to talk about some college football. We're 11 days away, bro. 11 days away. And when I say bro, I'm talking to all y'all. But I'm also talking to Darian Newsom because he's in the house today. Brian Dacus is not with us. So
Yes,
I
sir.
got D. What's up,
What's
Darian?
happening? Let's talk.
Man, we got a busy show again. We're going to talk college football. The top 25 came out yesterday. I was kind of paying attention to the top 10 and seeing that there's 4 Big Ten teams, 4 SEC teams, 1 ACC team.
Which the Tigers play.
An independent, and also no Big 12. Big 12 was left out of the top 10. And I do want to remind you today that, did you know, thank you to somebody on Twitter. Do you know that in the past 20 years, 18 times, a team that was in the preseason top 10 finished the season unranked? 18 out of the last 20 seasons. So I'm going to ask David Cobb when I look at that top 10, which of those teams is most likely to finish unranked? We're going to talk also about like flag football because I know that I'm not like I don't like play flag football.
You don't fancy yourself as a flag football
I'm
player.
just telling you right now, like I would play it after watching the Ocho and they were showing some flag football stuff. Like that stuff looks fun. But in 2028, you've heard that they are bringing flag football to the Olympics. And did you know that they're bringing softball and baseball back?
Yes, sir.
And also another thing that I found out, if they don't get a boxing organization, did you know that boxing may be gone from the Olympics?
Ooh.
So they need to get like they say they need some work in the boxing federation, whatever the hell's going on, the governing body of boxing. You know, you had that whole situation where the young lady couldn't compete in the 2023 World Championships, but then she was able to compete in the Olympics, and then the whole thing that she's a man, baby, and she really isn't a man. She just has more testosterone than most women because she has a chromosomal issue. She's now taking medication to lower her testosterone levels, and she actually did. I felt bad for the young lady, but she did do really well in the Olympics. But she did say, though, that ever since she's been taking the medication, that she's lost muscle mass, and she's not as strong as she once was, but she's still kicking everybody else's teeth in. But, you know, like boxing's got to figure it out or it might not be there. But the whole point, I don't know how I get off on all these tangents, my bad, was flag football. And I'm kind of curious because did you hear some of the players talk about how, like Micah Parsons specifically, did you hear him say that he is going to take time off in 2028 from football to get ready for the Olympics and he wants to be in the Olympics?
He ain't going to do it. Too much money involved. But, hey, more power to him, right?
And I got a question for you and all the listeners at the text line. That's the Sissy's Log Cabin text and listener line, 901-360-8255, 901-360-8255. Life's too short for ordinary jewelry. Like Micah Parsons, he'd be a great flag football player. But if it was 2028, who would you have as who would be the best quarterback for flag football? Like, Pat Mahomes in the National Football League is by far the best quarterback in the world. I mean, he's great. Joe Burrow just wins football games when he's healthy. But flag football is like a little bit different animal. If I had flag football and I could pick anybody past or present, I think the number one pick in flag football would have to be Mike Vick.
Okay, I'm with you. I was thinking Peter Warrick, but I'm with you.
Peter Warrick is not bad, but as a wide receiver, did great things at Florida State. But I'm thinking about a guy who can move with his legs, can extend the pocket, and also throw the ball vertically down the field, who could do it better than Mike Vick. But hit me up and tell me what you think in 2028. Who would be the best quarterback? I mean, is it Lamar Jackson because of his legs? I mean, Josh Allen is big and can run, but I don't know. I think that helps you in flag football. You ain't stiff-arming, folks. And like even wide receivers, like do you want a big guy like Justin Jefferson or do you want a speedy guy like Tyreek Hill?
I can think of a Reggie Bush.
He'd be sick.
He'd be sick.
Shoot, man. Calvin Austin would be sick in flag football. And if a damn Steelers quarterback could throw the ball, he would have had a touchdown last week. But anyway, just kind of wondering also is like, because baseball's back, MLB is going to be participating. NBA, participates with the Olympics. It's all NBA players on the basketball team. It's the MLB players are going to be back in the Olympics in 2028. I'm just kind of wondering if the NFL is going to let their players play flag football. And you sit there and say, well, why wouldn't they? It's non-contact. Do you remember way, way back in the day when they did the Pro Bowl?
Flag football, I know where you're going, right?
And
no, it wasn't flag football. Yeah, Pro Bowl in the sand, right?
It was Pro Bowl in the sand. My man Robert Edwards, who played for the Patriots, who honestly, this guy might be going into Canton if he didn't blow out his knee playing a little bit of flag.
Out his knee?
And dude, was he not an absolute freak?
Absolutely.
Heck, man, he'd had Super Bowl rings galore. So
tore that ACL.
Man, and it never was even close to the same and never even got back to doing really anything. But anyway, little sidebar. We're going to talk a lot of football, college football. Football's close. 11:30 David Cobb. 12:30. I got a little something different than normal. My man Jordan Birnbaum is coming on. He's like a sports psychologist. The dude went to Cornell. He's got like all kinds of degrees, but he talks about why athletes are the best advocates for mental health. And he talks about like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Ricky Williams and their journey. And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he sent me some information. Did you know that he might be a better writer than he was a basketball player? And that's saying something. Like, damn, bro. Like politics, life, philosophy. Dude can write on anything, and he puts himself out there, and he's open. If you haven't read any of this, I know one thing. Until my man reached out to me and sent me the information, I had never read anything from Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm a much better person for it. Like, dude flat out can do everything. Very deep thinker. But we're going to talk about that at 12:30. I'll sneak a little wood in for you. A little hardwood at noon today. A little nooner, you know what I'm saying? We got some funny stories out there. We got some weird stories. Tyreek Hill, he's making waves, talking some trash. We also got just like some weird stuff going on in the world. Like I don't even know like what's going on out in Las Vegas. They got a NFL and the police union are at odds right now. Could spell bad news for the Raiders. I'll talk to you about that at 12:30 and just a lot of extremely interesting stories. Plus, hell, we got hauntings and all kinds of stuff. But now we have to talk a little bit. Oh, and one other thing. I need a joke today. You know what I'm going to give? I'm going to give something away. Like, I was thinking about this this morning. I always like to tell a joke, good joke. Just throw a little something out there.
A little knock-knock, never heard
it. A little something. But most of mine are always too dirty for air. And, I mean, there are, like, a lot of jokes are very, it's just the way it is. If you want to go to tomorrow's Pro-Am, you know what's going down tomorrow at TPC Southland, right?
Yes, sir.
What is it?
The Pro-Am, right?
Yeah, that's tomorrow.
At the FedEx St. Jude, right?
The FedEx St. Jude Championship is this week. We're going to be out there. I'll be out there tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, having a whole lot of fun. We'll be out there Saturday. Profiling. Man, drinking my Tito's and my pretty cup. I'm going to be having a John Daly during the show. Do you know what a John Daly is?
No, enlighten me.
So an Arnold Palmer is a golf drink because you know who Arnold Palmer is, right?
A little lemonade, a little tea.
Yes. Well, when you add Tito's to it, that turns it into a John Daly. Because my man, John puts them down. You like that?
Oh, yeah. That could have been a Harden, too. It could have been a John Harden, too.
Dude, I love that one. Yeah, but I don't play golf very well,
Who does?
Dude, only those suckers. I can tell you that much. But, yeah, if you tell me the funniest joke that I can tell on air today, if you want 4 tickets for the Pro-Am tomorrow, all you have to do is text 901-360-8255. A funny joke
that we can say
that I can say on air,
yes.
And you will get 4 tickets. I'll send them to you. It's really easy. You tell the funny joke, and if you think it's funny, put your name. I'll have your phone number, and I'm just going to send you the tickets after the show right to your phone. But it's got to be a funny joke.
Got to be funny.
So send me something that makes me giggle and will make our people out there laugh. You get 4 tickets to the Pro-Am tomorrow out at TPC Southland for the FedEx St. Jude Championship. That's this week. Now, we got also some gambling at the very end of the show. You know I'm going to be placing some bets. And, yesterday, I will tell you this, I am still in utter shock. I was joking. I was looking at the Yankees. They were minus 350 against the White Sox yesterday.
And what you tell the people?
I was like, throw everything you got. And then I just said, I'm kidding. I said that laying 350 is too rich for my blood. And I ended up taking and the bet I gave out still lost because, damn, Chris Sale was awesome. I had the Giants. Blake Snell was awesome.
Yeah, they both were yesterday.
They were both ridiculous. I'm going to talk about them in a minute. But first, back to the Yankees. So, yeah, my bet didn't hit. But I did not make anybody lay 350 is what I'm saying. Like, you laid 110 if you took the Giants. And, yes, it hurt to lose in extra innings. 1-0. That's painful.
I took the Giants.
Yeah, me too, buddy. Me too. What
as well as the Yankees, too.
Oh, I did. You did take the Yankees?
I did.
Oh,
yeah.
my Lord.
I
See, I'm glad I'm talking to you then because I was kind of looking at that, just thinking to myself, like, there's no way, but it is baseball. I mean, you got the worst team in baseball, possibly history.
And the Yankees are on a heater. At least they were.
Yeah, they were. Soto hitting bombs, Judge hitting bombs, the whole team doing business. Jazz is playing a nasty third base. Like, they're doing it. And then the White Sox. The team that lost 21 straight games, fired their manager, and is right now on pace to possibly. Like, it's gonna be tight. They got 26-91 record. Remember, the worst record ever, 40 win. The lovable losers, the Mets. But let's also remember they were an expansion team. That was their first year. They were terrible. Casey Stangel's kids. But now this White Sox team beat the Yankees 12-2. What the hell? What happened? I mean, that's real? And you're like, yep, that is real. And the Yankees, the thing that was the weirdest about it is, like, if you watch the first inning, the Yankees are in Chicago, was on the road. They score a run in the first inning, and you're like, man, this is going to be ugly. They got Gill on the bump and everything. Gill goes out there and gives up 2 runs in the bottom of the first. And that's when I was saying to myself, uh-oh, this thing could get weird. And it got real weird, especially in the sixth when they gave up 7th inning, and they gave up 6 runs. But, yeah, Yankees lost to the White Sox. And Boone just, man, I don't know. I'm just not a big Giant fan. I never have been. Always does great early and falters. Now, I'm not saying anything is going to happen. They're still going to be right there. I don't know who I like better, Baltimore. I don't know if I like the Yankees. Hell, the Astros have gotten hot. In the American League right now, I still think everything is up for basically game. I mean, I know my buddy T-Money believes his Guardians are going to win it all this year. And by the way, if you didn't know, Guardians winners of 3 straight after hitting the skids. You saw that they went on a 6 or 7 game losing streak. Like right after the All-Star break, they came out and were playing like just terrible baseball. And bam, all of a sudden they've opened it up. They got 70 wins or 70-49. That's tied for the best mark in all of baseball, well, in all of the American League, with, of course, the Baltimore Orioles. Over in the National League, Shohei Ohtani did something that he's never done.
What was that?
It's kind of hard. Like, you think to yourself, Shohei Ohtani's done everything. What are you talking about? Johnny pitches, he wins. He hits bombs. He steals bases. This year he's stealing bases. He's going to be a 40-40 member. You know that?
Oh, yeah.
40 homers, 40 bombs, be there. But yesterday he did something he's never done. 3 balls, no strikes. He actually swung and hit a home run. First 3-0 home run he's had in Major League Baseball.
Ooh.
Dude usually taken, man. Dude's usually taken. He busted. Dodgers have won 4 straight, and they're looking pretty good.
Mookie Betts got a homer in there yesterday, too, in the return.
First game back. Milwaukee goes off, has a great game, hits a bomb. But do you know where he stayed the night before?
Not a Holiday Inn, I'm assuming.
He didn't stay with the team hotel because you know the hotel in Milwaukee that the baseball team stay at, they say it's haunted. And Mookie says he seriously believes in ghosts and stuff, and he says there's no way in hell he's staying at a haunted hotel. So he got an Airbnb so he could get some Z's, he said. And it worked out because he hit a bomb. But like, it was kind of funny for me to hear, like, watching MLB Network, and they're like, dude, Mookie Betts. And he's like, yeah, dude, I ain't staying at that hotel. That thing's haunted, man. I ain't having somebody knock on my door in the middle of the night. I'm like, damn, that's hilarious. And dude goes out there and hits some bombs. And then also a lot of other just great stories in baseball. Again, I kind of mentioned Chris Sale and Blake Snell. Damn, dude. Sale, I right now think he's the front runner for the NL Cy Young. And I'm kind of curious, if he wins a second Cy Young, is he going to Cooperstown? That would be, I mean, think about the time that's in between him winning. Got to look at his number.
Two, though.
He'd have two Cys, yeah.
There's not many with two that are not in the Hall.
Yeah,
if
it's kind of filthy. It's kind of filthy. But, man, he was 7 innings, only gave up 3 hits, no runs, no walks, 12 Ks. By the way, he's first in the National League, even though he didn't get a win yesterday with the 13 wins and an ERA of 2.61. He's second in Ks with 177. So, again, first in ERA, first in wins, tied for first in wins, and second in Ks at 170. Chris Sale having a hell of a year for a Braves team that right now just can't find any luck. The only luck they've had is Chris Sale. But Blake Snell, you know who won the Cy last year, don't you? That would be Blake. Came out terrible. He has put it together. Last 4 starts, 27 and 1/3 innings pitch, 0.99 ERA. 0.99 ERA. Yes, that is filthy. 45 Ks in 27 1/3 innings. That is
dealing. That's what you call dealing.
That is out of 82 outs, 45. The dudes aren't even putting the ball in play. They are striking their butt out. That is getting it done, Blake. Command has been just filthy. So they're getting their business going. But, man, like, dude, it's just baseball, man. Baseball. And then the other thing I was going to say is, dude, have you been paying attention to shortstop Jackson Merrill, who's now turned into the center fielder for the Padres? My dude looks like he's been playing center field his whole life. Making diving catches all over the plate, jumping up and hitting walls. Like, it's kind of crazy. Jazz Chisholm. Jazz did not play third base. And then he goes to the Yankees and he's playing a filthy third base. These dudes are just flat out nasty. But we got a lot of NFL talk to get to today as well. I talked to you a little bit about some fun stuff. And again, please hit me up with the joke at 901-360-8255. If you haven't heard, 901-360-8255 at the Sissy's Log Cabin text and listener line. Life's too short for ordinary jewelry. If your joke is funny and I read it on air, I will send you 4 tickets to tomorrow's FedEx St. Jude Championships.
And they are rolling. They are rolling in, Johnny Radio.
Are they?
They are rolling in.
Bam, bam, bam.
They are rolling in.
Good.
Well,
good.
When we get to break, we will throw it through these, but they are rolling in.
I'm going to sort through these bad boys, but when we come back, we're going to have David Cobb of CBSSports.com. We're going to talk all things college football, but I have to remind you, it's a Tuesday. I like to do a two-step on Tuesday. Do you know what the Tuesday's two-step is?
Fill us in.
It's a very simple, very, very simple act. All you have to do is go to Buster's at Poplar and Highland. And you're like, Buster's, the liquor store? And I'm like, that's half of it. Because you go to Buster's liquor store at Poplar and Highland, and you get you a big bottle of Tito's. It's Tuesday, you want the best spirit around, get you a little bottle of Tito's. And then you go next door to Buster's Butcher and get you a big old fat steak, porterhouse, ribeyes. They got those tomahawk steaks with the big giant bones in them, and you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, that's
like where
two.
you feel like Barney Rubble and what's the dude, Fred Flintstone?
Those are meant to be shared, Johnny.
Like, man, those things are so good. Plus, they have chops. They have everything. I mean, you really need to check out Buster's Butcher because there's nothing like it in Memphis. You can learn more at bustersbutcher.com. They're open 10 to 6 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sunday. And not only do they have the best cuts of meat, sausages, everything cut to order, They also have the, charcuterie boards and the finest cheeses. They make side dishes every single morning. You get your unbelievable meat, grab you a couple sides, you stick them in the oven at 350. The corn souffle is awesome. Their turnip greens are out of control. Everything is just different. Check out Buster's Butcher, and don't forget they have Buster's Liquor Store now with 2 locations. The one that's right next to the butcher shop, and that would be the original at 199 South Highland Street. And now I have a new one, Ridgeway Trace Shopping Center. Yes, that's right, the Ridgeway Trace Shopping Center. So if you're going down Poplar heading east and you coming down and you look, you pass the little interstate, go over that bad boy, you look over, you're like, oh my God, there's Buster's Liquor Store. Go in there and get a big bottle of Tito's or a glass of wine or a bottle of wine or whatever the heck you need, man, because they got it. On the other side, we have David Kopp, CBSSports.com. It's time to talk some college football on Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to real sports talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
There are many real estate companies out there, but then there's Banyan Tree Realtors on the Cotteville Town Square. There are hands-on, family-owned boutique real estate companies whose agents have been offering exceptional attention to their clients for over 40 years. In an ever-changing world, Banyan Tree continues to maintain a small-town personal charm while providing a worldwide connection through its internet marketing presence. Personal service will never go out of style at Banyan Tree Realtors. Their agents are people you can trust, offering service you deserve. From residential homes to commercial properties, farmland, land lots, and historical houses, Banyan Tree has the expertise you can rely on. So if you're downsizing, upsizing, moving in, or moving on, give Banyan Tree Realtors a call today. Craig Smith and Mary Jean Smith and their agents are ready to serve you. Call today at 901-620-8920 or 901-359-2520.
Genesis Diamonds' most extreme value on diamonds is coming to an end. You have until Sunday at 5 p.m. to get the price of a lifetime on a certified GIA diamond ring.
Response has been incredible. People have driven 4 hours to buy like a dealer buys. All GIA certified diamond rings are on sale. A full 20% discount off Genesis' amazing everyday value price.
Talking values you know without loss of time. Carat to 20-carat diamonds. Maximum values on all by the most prestigious geometric.
Don't be surprised to see jewelers from owners and diamond dealers shopping alongside you.
Genesis has the largest jewelry diamonds you've ever seen. Special cuts, pear-shaped, emerald cuts.
They can't get that Central Barbecue location on Central back open soon enough.
It's still going to be a little while. They do things right at Central Barbecue. That's why every location is so unique.
I know, but there's a lot of different Central Barbecue locations, but I miss the OG, the Central Barbecue on Central.
You know, it's going to be completely different.
Well, not completely.
Yeah, when the Central Barbecue location on Central reopens, it'll be bigger, nicer, more streamlined.
But still on Central.
That's about the only thing. For the time being, until they tell us different, you can't go wrong with any of the Central Barbecue locations.
You know, I think we broke out a record for saying Central Barbecue the most times in a Central Barbecue commercial.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this: if something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month, with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
There's an institution in East Memphis that I love talking about. It's the Spirit Shop at 4848 Poplar Avenue, right down the street from Clark Tower, and it looks like a log cabin. It's been around Memphis since 1969 with a family-owned, friendly, knowledgeable sales staff that is just a wonderful place to go. I love going in and talking wine or bourbons, and they've got such great selection. So if you've not visited the Spirit Shop in a while, it's been remodeled. You'll love what you see when you need spirits. Tell Eddie Wallow said hello.
Now back to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. This hour brought to you by Buster's Butcher at 199 South Highland, where every cut is the right cut. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy, Johnny Radio. It is a little 2 for Tuesday action. That means you go to Buster's Liquor Store, grab you a big bottle of Tito's right there at Poplar and Highland. Then you run next door to Buster's Butcher, and you get you a big old steak. Yes, sirree, Bob. That's two-stepping. That's the 2 for Tuesday. Buster's two-step. Buster's Liquor and Buster's Butcher. You know we have the FedEx St. Jude Championship coming up this week. I'll be out at the course tomorrow for the Pro-Am. If you would like tickets, we got about, 10 people have texted in some pretty funny jokes.
Yeah, they're getting them in.
If you hit me up at the Sissy's Log Cabin text in listener line, 901-360-8255, 901-360-8255. If you send me the funniest joke, one that we can read on air, because at 12 o'clock, Darian's going to read the jokes. And the one that's the funniest and I laugh at, you will be the winner of 4 tickets to tomorrow's Pro-Am out at TPC Southwind. So keep those bad boys coming, 901-360-8255. That's the Sissy's Log Cabin text in listener line, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry. It's time to talk with the best sports writer on planet Earth. Like, bro, he's like the best writer, period, outside of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar now. Ever since I started reading a little of that Kareem, I'm like, man, this dude is a better writer than he is a basketball player. And I don't know if you know, he's a pretty damn good basketball player. But David Cobb, man, he writes for CBSSports.com. He covers college football. He covers college basketball. And he's so kind. He always joins me on Tuesday. What's up, DC?
What's up, John Harden? How you doing?
Man, I'm doing pretty good, a little bit better. Ribs are healing. Groin and stomach aren't so much. But, yeah, one day I think I'll be back to normal.
That's great, man. I hope you do get back to normal because, I feel like when I think about your physical ailments and your athletic exploits, I feel like I'm looking into my future, and I admire the fact that you've remained active in sports into your old age. And I'd like to do the same, but, you're kind of spooking me a little bit with all these ailments you got.
Well, a couple of my buddies, my teammates, that's funny you say that because this morning one of them texted me, he's like, man, you still broken, right? And I was like, yep. And they're like, damn, bro. He goes, getting old must suck. And I go, thanks. I was like, damn, that's right. You're 30 years old, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there. I'm right there with him, and I feel like I'm looking into my future when I hear you talk.
Yeah, it is a tough one, but I need you to look in the future. That's so kind of crazy because I got a great question for you because I wanted you to look in your crystal ball. I stole this off of Twitter. I saw this from, I can't even remember to even give them credit, but 18 of the last 20 years, a team that was in the preseason top 10 finished the season unranked. You got 4 SEC teams. You got 4 Big Ten teams. You got Notre Dame. You got 1 ACC team. No Big 12 teams. Out of those top 10, which one do you feel like maybe not so, maybe a little too highly ranked, tough schedule? Which one do you think is the most likely to finish unranked?
Well, we're actually making the case for a team. A bunch of the guys on our staff have all picked a team, and we are making the case for why they are the top 10 team that's going to finish outside the poll. Now, granted, some of the best.
Are you actually working on that?
Yeah. So I picked Alabama.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Alabama fan right now is cussing you, but they're 5th currently in the top 25. If you haven't heard the top 25, of course, Georgia came in at 1, Ohio State 2, Oregon 3, Texas 4, Alabama's 5th, Ole Miss 6, Notre Dame 7, Penn State 8, Michigan 9, and Florida State 10. And you're saying Alabama. Is it basically because it's just too hard to replace a legend like Nick Saban? Do you not believe in Kalen DeBoer? Why is it that you picked Alabama?
Well, I picked Alabama partly because Michigan had already been chosen.
Oh, okay. That's the team that I was going to pick because I feel like that makes me feel better because somebody else stole Michigan because that's the number one team that stuck out to me.
Sure. They've got a lot of issues to work through, including replacing however many draft picks. I can't even remember. Some double-digit number of NFL draft picks. You got a new quarterback, new head coach, new defensive coordinator. I mean, the list goes on.
I just
So
hope
there's-
Orgy wins the job. I just can't wait for Orgy to win that job. And every single Saturday, people are talking about, look at that Orgy.
Yeah, Orgy might win the job, but they might split reps. There might be 3 people in there, so it really might be an Orgy at quarterback. If you never mind.
That was a very good one. I like it.
But no, I ended up going with Alabama because, well, for a few reasons. I mean, obviously you mentioned replacing the legend, of course. I believe Kalen DeBoer is a wonderful coach. Now, is he Nick Saban? I mean, nobody's Nick Saban, but it's not like I doubt Kalen DeBoer, and I don't doubt the talent that's on the roster. But when you look at the schedule, and before you get out, every month brings its own challenges for Alabama. You got Wisconsin on the road, third week of the season. You close the month against Georgia. Then in October, you go at Tennessee. You play Missouri, which a lot of people think could be a college football playoff team. And then no breaks in November either because you're at LSU, you're at Oklahoma, you have the Iron Bowl. Every month brings its challenges for the Crimson Tide, and they're fairly well equipped to handle them. I mean, there's a world in which they go 11-1, they don't drop off at all. They're right there in the SEC and national title hunt. I'm not just counting that possibility, but there is a lower floor in this first season under Kalen DeBoer at Alabama than there ever was since Nick Saban's first season. And so that floor could be 8-4. I mean, it could be 7-5. Worst case scenario. There are worst case scenarios now at Alabama that were unimaginable before. So do I really believe deep down that Alabama's going to just fall off? No, I don't. But if history tells us that somebody from the top 10 in the preseason is going to finish outside the poll altogether, yeah, I mean, I think you do have to look at Alabama as a candidate to fit that bill.
I kind of feel what I feel what you're putting down. I mean, because the third week, your first road game, you got to go up there, to Wisconsin, and that's not, an easy place to go play. And the very next week after that, you have Georgia. So, there is a bye, I believe, actually in there. But anyway, point is, that's a tough little schedule. And you talk about that little bitty part of their schedule where they have Tennessee and Missouri and LSU, which are all like back to back to back. Yeah, I could see Alabama, but I think that, if you had a pick, would it have been Michigan if you had the very first pick?
Yeah, no doubt. It's actually a decently difficult schedule this year, too, so there is the opportunity for Michigan to lose games. If this Michigan team had last year's Michigan schedule,
I mean, that Texas game in week number 2 is I'm looking at that bad boy. That could get ugly. Without
a doubt. And then early on, you still have USC. On that schedule, you're at Washington, which is a totally new team, but still a challenge. And then you got Oregon, you got Ohio State, you got at Illinois. I mean, that's not a slam dunk gimme either. So it's just there is more room for error there with Michigan than there was a year ago. Not only because of the personnel and the coaching change, but because of the schedule. I mean, last year's Michigan schedule was a joke. It was comical how simple that schedule was for Michigan a year ago. And that's not the case this year. It's a schedule where there could be up to 4 regular season losses in a worst case scenario, and that means they could finish outside the top 25 if everything goes wrong.
Sticking over the Big Ten, by the way, since we talking a little bit of top 10, I look at Penn State also. It's another Big Ten team up there. It's not because I don't think they have a talented roster. I don't know if I trust Drew. It's just because it feels like they don't get there. Is this the most important year for James Franklin? Does he have to make the college football playoff, or that seat starts to get hot?
Does the seat get hot? I don't know. I still think he's built up enough goodwill there to where he could go through 2025 in a relatively comfortable position. I mean, unless we're talking about a 5-7 or 6-6, maybe 7-5. But if they're 8-4 or 9-3 this year and they miss the playoff, but they're still a decent upper half of the Big Ten type of team, I think he'd be fine. But there's more pressure on Penn State now because the playoff has tripled in size, and they no longer have to play Michigan and Ohio State every year. So, yeah, the door has been flung wide open here for Penn State. But it's an interesting season because they're replacing both coordinators, and that's never a comfortable position to be in. I mean, that opens the door for them to improve offensively for sure, but you lose Manny Diaz as your defense coordinator, and he was really good at that job. And you bring in Tom Allen from Indiana, who was the head coach there, but there's no guarantee that there's no drop-off defensively. But this is the year. They've got the personnel. They've got the backfield. They've got the quarterback who has the potential. and they at least feel like they've got something at receiver now. But that's kind of the big question mark for Penn State, is whether or not they can get a little bit more explosive and actually hit some passes beyond 5 yards down the field.
We've been talking about how the top 10's got 4 Big Ten teams, 4 SEC teams, Notre Dame, and, of course, ACC team, Florida State. But we've been kind of sticking in the Big Ten, talking about Michigan, Penn State over there, at 8 and 9, not really being like I kind of feel it could see things go really well for them. You could see things going south. When I look over at Ohio State and Oregon, right there, they're at number 2 and number 3. Which team do you trust more to get it done for the Big Ten this year?
I actually ended up picking Oregon in our Big Ten predictions for CBS Sports. I didn't go into it necessarily thinking I would do that, but when you look at their schedules and you look at the known quantities that are on that Oregon roster, I mean, they're even their transfer talent are guys that are well proven, quality college football players, no doubt. I mean, you think about Dylan Gabriel. I'll take his body of work.
I like his Heisman numbers too.
Yeah, and I'll take his body of work at UCF and Oklahoma over the body of work that Will Howard has put forth so far in his career at Kansas State. And Ohio State's putting in all their chips on Will Howard being a quarterback who can win a national title for him. If we're picking Will Howard or Dylan Gabriel, who would you rather have?
The lefty, baby, Dylan Gabriel.
I'm going Dylan Gabriel there. So it's an embarrassment of riches, really, across the board, talent-wise, for Oregon. And so, the interesting thing is there could be a Big Ten rematch. Everybody's talking about the potential that Ohio State and Michigan could play in the final week of the regular season and then play each other again in the Big Ten championship and then play each other again in the college football playoff. I think it's actually more likely that we have that transpire with Oregon and Ohio State because they play each other in October, and then they, I think, could very easily rematch in the Big Ten championship game, and both could very well are expected to be, should be, college football playoff teams. So the 3 games in one season scenario that everybody's talking about right now, I think it's more likely that Oregon and Ohio State are the 2 teams that get tangled up in that than Ohio State and Michigan.
Ole Miss being ranked at number 6, by the way, of course, has gotten me pretty excited. My daughter's freaking out. Everybody I talk down in Oxford and all the Ole Miss fans are going completely crazy over this season. They're fired up. The Lane train is going, come to the SIP, all that good stuff. How much of a believer are you in the Rebels?
I'm a big believer in Ole Miss. The holes and the issues that they've had in the past should be fixed now because they went out and got guys like Walter Nolan out of the transfer portal. And they went out and got a 4-year contributor on the defensive line for Florida, and Princely Umanmielen. Not sure if I got that right, but tried. And anyway, no. So
you still Juice Wells from South Carolina. I mean, they do everything.
There's a big addition. They just added Deion Smith too, former highly touted receiver prospect who could be in there as a target for Jackson Dart. So everybody kind of gravitates to the fact that they lost Quinshon Judkins, but I think that was a business decision by Ole Miss. Hey, we're going to have to pay this guy a lot. I think we'd be better served to pay some of the defensive linemen the salary that we were going to have to allot for Quinshon Judkins. And so I think that's a savvy move by Lane Kiffin. I think Ulysses Bentley is going to have a big year at running back. And, I think by mid-September, you're gonna forget that this team lost Quinshon Judkins because they've got so many other weapons. And I think their defense is going to be so improved that you don't even really question the fact that they let him walk and let him go to Ohio State.
Outside of the top 10 in the SEC, who are you a believer in? Take out the Georgia and Alabama, Ole Miss. Who am I forgetting? Texas, they're in the top 10. Who outside the top 10 do you think has the best shot at getting into the 12-team playoff?
I mean, you got Missouri there at 11. Questions about that defense, without a doubt. You got LSU at 13. Questions about that defense, without a doubt. And then you got Tennessee at 15.
I like
of those
Tennessee.
3, actually, I'm a bigger believer in Tennessee.
Me too. I think Nico's the real deal.
Without a doubt. And that's kind of where I'm at with Tennessee. And offensively, they're going to be really good. I mean, they're going to be better than they were last year. They're hoping to be as good as they were in 22. Even if they're not quite that good offensively, then they're still going to be in that playoff mix. So, yeah, defensively, the secondary is my question for Tennessee. I mean, we're at a stage now where they're talking about starting a true freshman in the secondary in Boo Carter because they lost almost everybody from last year's secondary. They've already had an injury there in preseason practice to a projected starter. So that's the big concern with Tennessee is that you're going to be able to exploit them in the pass game. However, when you got guys like James Pierce rushing the quarterback off the edge, that can really help mitigate some of your issues on the back end of the defense. Because if the opposing quarterback has no time to throw the ball, then you can kind of cover up some of those deficiencies in your secondary. So that's, I think, the hope, at least, with Tennessee. And the schedule is not easy, but it's manageable enough to where they could go, 9-3, 10-2, and be in that playoff conversation.
Now, I got a text already. My buddy Bob texted in, and he says, dude, ask DC, what about Tennessee minus 4.5 week 2 on September 7th over NC State early line? I want to pound it.
Yeah. I take it. I would go Tennessee minus 4.5 there. And not because I'm a disbeliever in NC State. I actually think NC State's a little bit of a dark horse contender
over
in
the ACC. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they're going to be breaking in Grayson McCall at quarterback. They kind of have a lot to replace on defense, too. Peyton Wilson was kind of their do-it-all, leading tackler, type of guy who made 150 tackles a season. When you got to replace a guy like that, it doesn't just happen overnight. So I think NC State evolves and grows and becomes a really good ACC team over the course of the season. But week 2 on a neutral, I like Tennessee by a touchdown in that game for sure.
All right, now I need you to also help me out on the Deion Sanders situation because, and again, I guess he's always on his Twitter. He does a great job. He puts out a lot of nice things, but it seems like he's gotten so combative with the media that it's gotten a little bit out of hand. And the thing that's weird for me about it is I just, in my opinion, and I don't know for sure, but I would feel like the Colorado football beat is probably not the toughest beat in the world. Like, I saw the question just a couple of days ago. Did you see the guy who was kissing Deion's butt? He was like, hey, Deion, non-football related question. I just wanted to tell you, a couple months ago I was really, really sick. And if it wasn't for Aflac, I don't know if I would be here. Thank you, Deion. And they basically did a damn commercial, like at a press conference. Like, I mean, is Deion got the toughest beat to be out there having this much trouble with the media?
He manipulates the media. Anytime he can get in front of a camera, he's going to bend and twist and manipulate that situation to best serve his purposes. Honestly, though, that's not unlike any other college football coach. Deion's just more grandiose and more brash about it than a lot of other coaches are. But Kirby Smart does the same
listen.
thing.
He has the Kardashian effect, I call it. Like, some people can talk. Like, Matt Rule can say some stuff, and it literally has to be at media days or nobody talks about him. Deion says anything, and it's talked about.
And he knows that, and he understands how to operate under that microscope and how to take those situations and use them to his benefit, be that his own personal financial benefit or whatever narrative benefit he thinks he can get by putting something out there about his program. So, yeah, it's crazy, man. That press conference, I guess it was Friday, he calls out CBS. He gets into a fight with the Denver Post guy. He's always entertaining, and that's the beautiful thing about what Deion Sanders brings to college football is entertainment, attention, eyeballs, controversy, all those sorts of things, man. It's but that's how he's always been, right? I mean, I don't really remember his two-sport playing days where he was like the object of the sports universe. I don't remember that, because I was a kid, but I mean, he still does it. It's incredible. Nobody else has that sort of magnetic effect. Quite like
at Florida State. Like, do you remember? Like, I mean, dude, when he was at Florida State, he was huge. Like when he just went to the next level. Like, I mean, Prime became the thing. Like, it's wild. And I look at their football schedule this year, and I'm kind of wondering. You look at the Big 12, nobody in the top 10. They got Nebraska in week 2. How does this team fare out in the Big 12 this year? Is it going to be a good season for Deion, or is this thing going to go south?
Yeah, so actually it just dropped while we've been on the phone, but my best win total bet for this season is now up at CBSSports.com, and Colorado is among the teams. In that piece, Vegas has them with a preseason win total of 5.5, and I'm going on the under there because it's a brutal schedule again. I mean, yeah, they've changed from the Pac-12 to the Big 12, but the schedule didn't get any easier. They missed 3 of the Big 12's 4 worst teams. But that's bad scheduling luck. That's not Deion's fault. And then the non-conference is tough because they got Nebraska and Colorado State on the road, schedules that were put in place before he got there. And then they get North Dakota State in the opener, and that's a perennial FCS powerhouse. Not the team you want to be messing with in your season opener. That's not like playing Austin Peay or East Tennessee State. That's like playing a Sun Belt caliber team. And if you're not ready to go for that game, you're going to lose it. And so, yeah, there's too many landmines for me to faithfully, go over 5.5 for Colorado. I think 4 wins or 5 wins is far more likely than 6 for this team.
Man, I love that. You just dropped that bad boy over at CBSSports.com?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it looks real nice, too. They put some logos in there. And, so I was 7-0-3 over the last 2 years with that. So that's 7 wins, 0 losses, and 3 pushes. And so I've upped it a little bit. I think I've got 7 or 8 picks in there this year for preseason win totals, and feel pretty good about them, like to the point where I'm actually putting a little bit of my own skin in the game there. So, go check that out.
Man, I love it. I'm actually on the CBSSports.com app right now looking at your article. It just dropped about, a few minutes ago, and first thing that I saw, though, is, the commercial that popped up at the very top. Again, you can read the article. The commercial's still there. It's not like you have to wait for it to go, but it was a big cold beer. It's got me thirsty, David.
John, you know what that is, right? That's Google knowing what to feed you.
I was like, man, it's almost 12 o'clock. It's now day drinking, 9 minutes. David, do me a big favor, man. We got 11 days till college football. What are y'all working on? I know you just dropped a few new things. What are you cooking up this week?
Yeah, so all of our conference previews are coming out soon. So that's the Power 4, and then we are also picking our top 5 Group of 5 teams and picking which Group of 5 team we think is going to make the playoffs. So I think at least 1 or 2 of my colleagues are on Memphis for that. So keep an eye out. I am curious to see how it shakes out. Does Memphis end up getting a majority of the picks for Group of 5 champion, or does Boise State get that nod, or Liberty? I think there's, you can at least make the case easily for those 3. Is there anyone beyond those 3 that gets picked? Because, we got 7 or 8 people who vote on this. And, I'm kind of curious to see what happens with Memphis in that thing. I've got Memphis at number 2 behind Boise, but I believe at least one of my colleagues is going with Memphis as their Group of 5 champion.
I love it, man. By the way, who's the best team in Tennessee?
Funny you mentioned that, of course. I went with Tennessee. I had to pick the best team in every state for CBS Sports last week. And Tennessee was actually one of the tougher states to pick because Memphis won 10 games last season. Tennessee only won 9. So how do you sort of weigh or compare those two when Memphis plays in the AAC and Tennessee plays in the SEC? I gave Tennessee the benefit of the doubt for this year because I think if they played on a neutral field, Tennessee would be about a 6.5 or 7.5 point favorite right now. But obviously this is a pretty big year for Memphis, and they got a chance to do something special. So maybe when we are talking this time next year, it could be Memphis that's on top of the state, but had to go with the Vols for now.
Man, he is David Cobb. Read his work at CBSSports.com. Follow him on Twitter at David W. Cobb, and always listen to him right here on Tuesday. Be blessed, my friend. Thanks for the time, my brother.
All right, brother. Thank you.
That is David Cobb. We're late for a break. I'm going to take a quick timeout. Be back in 2 shakes. Don't forget, bring in your jokes. 901-360-8255. Sissy's Log Cabin text and listener line. You send in the joke. We're going to read them at 12 o'clock. Bing, bang, boom. You make me laugh. Somebody's going to win 4 tickets to tomorrow's FESJC Pro-Am. Back in 2 shakes. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Guns, guns, and more guns. Over 700 firearms in stock. Home defense guns, old guns, new guns, used guns, big guns, little guns. Every gun you can think of, Classic Arms has them. All brands like Glock, SIG, Colt, Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Browning, Beretta, Benelli, Remington, Winchester, and more. Guaranteed lowest prices in town. Only gun importer in the Mid-South. Free gun inspections and appraisals and free bore sighting for the upcoming deer season. Shop online at ClassicArmsofMemphis.com or visit Classic Arms at 1740 Germantown Parkway behind Quirky's Barbecue in Cordova.
At Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee, they're proud to give back to communities across the state. Giving back to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, which helps treat and defeat childhood cancer, is a meaningful effort that is very close to their hearts. They're honored to stand alongside 1,600 dedicated volunteers and tournament participants as they make this year's annual FedEx St. Jude Golf Tournament fundraiser a resounding success right here in Memphis, Tennessee. To read more about how Blue Cross Blue Shield helps communities, please visit bcdst.com.
Drive like a pro and support a great cause during the sales drive at Landers Ford in Collierville, Landers Ford South in South Haven, and Landers Ford North in Covington. We've provided over 100 new Fords to be driven by the pros at the FedEx St. Jude Championship. Now they're all being sold with demo prices. That's right. Over 100 new Fords driven by the pros are being sold with demo pricing below market value. A portion of the proceeds go directly to the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. This is a once-a-year opportunity to trade up and drive like a pro while supporting a great cause. Visit LandersMemphis.com. That's LandersMemphis.com. Or come see us at Landers Ford in Collierville, Landers Ford South in South Haven, or Landers Ford North in Covington. With our Landers Easy Pass, you can get top dollar for your trade-in to help you save even more. Don't miss your chance. Reserve your demo-priced new Ford driven by a pro at the FedEx St. Jude Championship and lock in low APR financing. Remember, if it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Now back to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. This hour brought to you by Buster's Butcher at 199 South Highland, where every cut is the right cut. Here once again is Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. Happy Tuesday, people. It's a little two-stepping Tuesday. Run to Buster's Liquor Store, grab you some Tito's, then run right next door to Buster's Butcher and get you a big old steak. Man, I'm telling you, that just feels good. Buster's Butcher, by the way, open 10 to 6 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sunday. And yes, I said Buster's Butcher. You know about the liquor store. They also opened a second liquor store at Ridgeway Trace Shopping Center. But the Butcher, man, I'm telling you, learn more at bustersbutcher.com. See why every cut counts over at Buster's Butcher. It is the best place to get your meat. Promise you. Now, we've been talking college football 11 days. We just talked with David Cobb from CBSSports.com. We've been talking all things college football, and it just made me think today is not today, but it's 2024. And I was remembering, you know what 20 years ago happened?
Nope, tell us.
Auburn went undefeated and finished third because they were outside, because I think it was USC and Oklahoma in 2004 that were 1-2 in the polls. And USC and Oklahoma started there 1-2 and finished there 1-2, played for the national championship. Auburn was left out. I think they went and beat Virginia Tech in the Sugar Bowl. That was the 2004 Auburn Tigers that finished 13-0, did not get the Natty, and it had probably one of the best backfields ever. That had Cadillac Williams, Ronnie Brown, Jason Campbell at quarterback. You know what's so funny, and your mic's off? I can't remember what I ate yesterday, but I can somehow pull things like event. Why does my brain work that way?
You're special.
And you notice my buddies, you know why they always, I just found this out, why they always say sometimes squirrel?
No, why?
Because I get distracted very easily. Like a squirrel, like if a dog sees a squirrel, like, he can be sitting there chilling with you, rolling over, eating treats, and then a squirrel go by, and then he takes off running, and then you got to chase after him. They say that's kind of like me. Like, we'll be having a very serious conversation, a 10 will walk by, and then all of a sudden I'm completely off.
And then it's just gone.
Gone. But, man, we won't have to worry about a team that is that good being left out, because this year in college football we've expanded to 12 games. So I'm fired up. The top 10 has come out. 4 SEC teams, 4 Big Ten teams, Notre Dame, Florida State out of the ACC. No Big 12 teams. Now, last call. Tomorrow, FESJC starts. The FedEx St. Jude Championship out at TPC Southwind. We are kicking off tomorrow with the Pro-Am. Oh, yeah. And then Thursday, the Real Deal Holyfield. We'll be out there all week, by the way. We'll be out there tomorrow, Thursday, Friday. We'll be out there watching the tournament on the weekend. It is the FedEx St. Jude Championship, and if you want to be a part of it, if you want to go to the Pro-Am tomorrow,
gotta make Johnny laugh.
Not just you, but you and 3 people. They could be your 3 homies. They could be your wife and maybe a couple kids.
Hopefully people that like their jokes.
And people who are funny and people who like golf. So if you got a funny joke, send it to the Sissy's Log Cabin text in listener line 901-360-8255. That's 901-360-8255. Life's too short for ordinary jewelry. Send that bad boy over to me. We're going to read them on the air on the other side of this break. Whoever makes me laugh the hardest wins 4 tickets to the FESJC Pro-Am tomorrow. Don't you dare touch the dial. We're back in 2 shakes. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Make your next grill your last with a Big Green Egg. Smoke, bake, roast, sear, and grill, all with a lifetime warranty. Save money on fuel, eating out, and replacing expensive grills that cannot match the flavor of the Big Green Egg. Ready to cook in only 10 to 15 minutes with temperatures below 200, above 700, and anywhere in between with ease. Change your at-home cooking experience for life. Go to shop.biggreenegg.com.
Genesis Diamonds' most extreme values on diamonds is coming to an end. You have until Sunday at 5 p.m. to get the price of a lifetime on a certified GIA certified diamond ring. Hey, it's Eric Hasseltine, and response has been incredible. People have driven for hours to buy like a dealer buys. All Genesis GIA certified diamond rings are on sale. A full 20% discount off Genesis' already amazing everyday value price. I'm talking about values you never thought possible. From a half carat to 20 carat diamonds, all handpicked from maximum brands and all graded by the most prestigious gem lab in the world. Genesis has the largest GIA diamond selection you've ever seen. Rounds, ovals, radiants, cushion cuts, pear shapes, emerald cuts, princess cuts, everything you can think of. Now through Sunday, you can take advantage of this rare buying opportunity on the most gorgeous rings. Limit 1 per customer, please. Get the Genesis no middleman direct importer price, minus an extra 20% on all GIA diamond engagement rings. Now through Sunday, only at Genesis Diamonds on Popular Perkins Extended. See store for details.
Jenkins Floors and More invite you to their retail warehouse where they pass wholesale savings on to you. Jenkins Floors in Little Rock, Cleveland, Mississippi, and now open in Horn Lake at 2356 West Goodman Road. Specializing in flooring and carpeting, tile, plantation shutters, and blinds, Jenkins makes your life easy with a 2-week turnaround. Contractors, builders, or family projects, call 662-469-9350 for a free estimate. Owners Timmy and Rebecca Jenkins say hello to Sports 56 fans and look forward to your business.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
If you're looking to play a private country club but only pay daily greens fees, then Meadowbrook Country Club in West Memphis, Arkansas is the place for you. At Meadowbrook Country Club in West Memphis, you can now play a beautiful, challenging course for only $59. Meadowbrook Country Club features champion Bermuda greens and is now available to everyone. A membership is $350 per month and includes tennis, pickleball, and swimming, plus a great restaurant and bar, all less than 15 minutes from downtown and midtown Memphis. Meadowbrook Golf Pro Mark can even fix you up with custom-made tricks on and Cleveland clubs. If golf isn't for you, try the social membership for only $250 a month. And there's 2 levels of all-inclusive junior memberships, $20 to $29 for $200 a month and $30 to $34 for $250 a month. Call for your tee time today at Meadowbrook Country Club, 870-394-4186. Now semi-private Tuesday through Sunday. Meadowbrook Country Club in West Memphis, 870-394-4186.
Memphis, the playoffs are back. Come see the PGA Tour's best compete for the trophy, the FedEx St. Jude Championship, August 14th through 18th. Witness the drama as 70 players arrive in Memphis and only 50 move on. Tickets are on sale now at FedExChampionship.com.
We are Sports 1456 WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Oh, yeah.
That is one of those things. When things get too heavy, just call me helium.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy, Johnny Radio. It's 12:05 in the Mid-South. Why am I giving you the time? Because, some people just out there want to get their stuff done in the morning, feel accomplished. And then they're like at 12 o'clock, it's quitting time. Because you know what? I got to get away. I got to get away and go drink me some cold brewskis. You know where you got to get away to? To Getaway Sports Bar. That's right. Getaway Sports Bar has the coldest beer in town. I am serious as a heart attack. It's got great bar grub, huge TVs all over the place. It's like a mecca for sports watching. You go in there, man, they got it all on the tube. Cold beer and grub. Oh, my goodness. 4632 Winchester Road. By the way, man, you don't have to wait till 12 o'clock to go there because they basically open 24/7, 365. You need a cold beer? Getaway Sports Bar, 4632 Winchester Road. Plus, they have 6 pool tables, 2 dartboards, a golden tee. Yeah, buddy. Getaway Sports Bar. Now it's time to give away 4 tickets to the FedEx St. Jude Championship Pro-Am, which starts tomorrow. The championship is starting on Thursday out at TPC Southwind, but the fun starts tomorrow. If you'd like 4 tickets, you need to just text 901-360-8255, 901-360-8255. Life's too short for ordinary jewelry. Send a joke in. Now, we've got jokes. And my good buddy Darian is going to read these jokes. Whoever makes me laugh, which I think is the funniest joke, is going to win these 4 tickets.
Suitable
I will send
for
them
radio.
to your phone, and the ones that are suitable for radio. There's some of them that you can't say on the radio, but I still love those anyway. Yeah. But the one that I can air on air is going to be the winner, Darian.
We got you teed up, baby. In honor of the FedEx St. Jude Championship, we got you teed up.
Man,
ready?
Let's do it.
All right, the first one. Let's get to it. First one, why wouldn't the bike work?
Why wouldn't the bike work? I have no clue.
Because it was too tired.
Too tired? Too tired. Oh, man. Not too good. Don't think that one's going to work. I didn't laugh. All
right. Up next. All right. Why did the golfer wear 2 pair of pants?
Why did the golfer wear 2 pair of pants? I don't know.
In case he gets a hole in one.
Oh, that is actually pretty funny. That's good. Damn, I told you I'm not the brightest man in the world. I should have figured that one out.
Oh,
in case he gets a hole in one.
That was actually pretty good.
That was actually pretty good. I like that.
Made the people laugh.
Made the people laugh. Huh.
All right, you ready for the next one?
And clean.
And clean. So, for us right now, we're ready. Why can Miss Piggy only count to 68?
Because nobody wants to see her get to 69.
No, of course not, John. Because when she gets to 69, she gets a frog in her throat.
That is good. Dude, that was good. I like that one. Actually, I have to say right now that one's leading.
Okay. All right. Got one more for you. Teeing them up. Played golf yesterday, John. Only 2 good balls I hit all day. That was it. That was it.
That was goofy.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I missed this punchline. Let me start over. Okay, I see it.
I was going to say, I didn't see
I
the
see.
punchline.
Yeah, I see his punchline there. I get it now.
All right, I'm
okay,
ready.
Played golf yesterday, John. Only 2 good balls I hit all day was when I stepped on a rake in the bunker.
Now, that one's not bad. That one's not bad. But, bro, whoever came in there with a Miss Piggy Kermit frog in the throat.
They got you right now?
Joke, I got to say, they got that bad boy.
I think this one will unhand that one. You ready?
Uh-oh,
All right.
here we go.
A man and his wife were playing golf. Hey, y'all are in the mood for golf today. Good job. A man and his wife were playing golf when the wife got stung by a wasp. They told the pro about it, and he asked the wife where she got stung. She said, between the first and second hole. The pro said, well, then your stance is too wide.
That is good. I was thinking that you were actually going to have to say the T word.
Oh, no. These are all
That is actually,
appropriate.
that means your stance is too wide. That is hilarious. That would be a bad place to get stung.
Yeah.
You ever been stung by a wasp?
No, fortunately. No broken bones, never been stung by a wasp, bee, none of that good stuff.
Bees don't ever sting me. Bees, I'm like the bee. I'm like what's that dude, Ace Ventura?
Yeah.
I'm like the Ace Ventura bees. Bees always land on me.
It's okay, but they never sting you, right?
No, they never sting me. It's, I guess because I ain't scared. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's for all that flying and throwing
So
away.
are those all we got?
I got one more for you. Let me
clean
make
one?
sure. Let me make sure.
Doo-doo, doo-doo. Doo-doo, doo-doo. He's reading.
Okay, all
It's
right.
clean.
Okay, all right. He's good. All right, you ready?
Yep.
All right, what do you call a Minnesota Viking with the Super Bowl ring?
A Minnesota Viking with the Super Bowl ring. A Minnesota Viking with the Super Bowl ring. A thief.
A thief. That's actually it. I think that one wins because that's the one you asked. Oh, he actually sent you two so quickly. The other one
gosh.
is, what do football players do when they go blind?
Football players when they go blind. Damn, I don't know.
They become a ref.
Oh, that is a good one.
All right, so that's it, John. What do you got?
That is good. Damn, dude. Do I go Miss Piggy?
Or stance.
Throw? The stance. Okay, so the so far, I also like the fact that I knew that the Minnesota Vikings joke. The fact that I was like a
you do that
thief.
one. Yeah.
I like that.
The golfer wearing two pants in case he got a hole in one.
That's not bad either. They're all very, very good. Thank you for sending
Miss
them.
Piggy was clever.
But Miss Piggy, yeah, like
Miss Piggy.
why can Miss Piggy only count to 68? Because at 69,
Because
she
when
gets
she
a
get a
frog.
frog
stuck in her throat. It's just, like, I mean, it's dirty, but it's clean. It goes back to my childhood, like Muppets and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think I'm going to have to say they're the winner.
You want that one?
Yes. Do me a
Daniel,
favor.
what up, Daniel?
Daniel, you are the winner. We will text you some tickets to the FESJC
Hopefully you
tomorrow.
got 3 people that likes your jokes.
Pro-am. Yeah, you can tell a bunch of jokes out there tomorrow and watch a little golf. Definitely, there's going to be... Man, would you be able to, like, if you were a good, decent golfer, would you want to play in a Pro-am?
Absolutely. Yes.
So would you be able to hit the ball with all those people watching you and not think you're going to smack them in the head?
I can do it without thinking it now. Whether it happens or not is for the birds. But I can definitely play in front of a group of people. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I definitely do a Pro-am.
I dig it. Well, we're going to do you a little bit of hardwood because it feels so good. But first, I have to tell you, if you want to look good, why is looking good so important? One, if you want to find another person to spend the rest of your life with, looking good and smelling good are probably some good things. But one, clean up, shower, take care of yourself, exercise, eat clean. But you got to look good. And to look good, you're going to need some nice clothes. And I'm telling you, there's only one place you need to go. And it's not just to make you look good, but it could be your whole family or your friends or people that you care about. Because at Frontier Western Store in Olive Branch, 5880 Goodman Road, you can go on down there and they have a men's department. They have more jeans from Ariat to Wrangler and everything in between. They have the largest boot showroom on planet Earth. They have everything you need from head to toe because they got all the hats, boots, pants, shirts, shoes, skirts, because they have a ladies' boutique. And they have a children's department. When you want to look good and feel good, play good. You know, Deion Sanders says if you want to play good, you got to look good and you got to feel good because when you look good, you feel good. When you feel good, you play good.
And when they pay good, when you play good, they pay good. There you go.
That's the rest of it, baby. So you got to head to Frontier Western. If you can't get down to Olive Branch, so don't freak out because you can do this. It's very simple. You can go on your phone. You can go on the computer. You can go to frontierwesternstore.com. It's very easy to navigate. You can shop by sales item. You can shop by men's, women's, boots. You name it. It's very easy to navigate. And anything you order online, They ship out within 24 hours, so it arrives extremely quickly. Frontier Western Store and frontierwesternstore.com. Let's go to Hardwood.
This is Access Hardwood.
Man, there's some wild stuff out there in the world. Like really, really, really wild stuff.
Really wild.
Did you, like, you know how I said I wasn't, like, I mean, this is just wild. And I know you're, like, if you haven't listened to Hardwood and you know it's a sports show, I don't always talk about sports.
No, you're a philanthropist as well.
This is whack. So a cafeteria worker in Illinois. Have you heard about this?
I've
woman?
heard about it, but please tell the
Okay,
world.
so at the Harvey School District, there was Vera Liddell, who's
Miss
now
Vera.
pled guilty. And Vera, she was a cafeteria worker for many, many years.
Which we love. We love cafeteria ladies.
Love them. But man, my girl has some stuff going on the side. She is going to jail because she stole $1.5 million worth of chicken wings.
What?
Yes, over a 3-year period. She ordered all the wings. They were supposed to be for the kids during the COVID era.
cheering, Miss
And all the
Vera.
kids. No, she was selling the wings as a side hustle, but paying for all the wings
With the school's
with
money.
the school's money. And now, let me just tell you something. After you do it a couple times and get away with it, you got to walk away.
Miss Vera had a
You
business, man.
3 years, you embezzled $1.5 million of chicken wings? Like, damn, Miss Vera.
Miss Vera had a huge side hustle going
Man,
on.
like that's why Miss Vera, when she would like get your mashed potatoes out and give you your little pizza, she like, man, you're like, Miss Vera,
She give you a
got
business card,
look
too.
at that Rolex you got, Miss Vera. Damn, Miss
How much
Vera.
you think she made off the wings? Off of what
Dude,
she
I mean,
sold?
if she embezzled $1.5 million, she had to make over $1 million.
She had to make over $1 million. She's selling
had
$2
to.
a wing.
I
Think about
mean,
it. $2 a wing, she makes well over $1 million.
dude, she's man. That's just I couldn't even believe it. I just thought that was crazy because, you know, every time I see something about a cafeteria work, I'm like, oh, man.
Oh, Miss
and then,
Vera.
you know how I told you I'm stupid, right?
Eh.
I'm just getting dumb. Like, I can remember 20 years ago, Auburn undefeated, couldn't get in the national championship because of the preseason poll had Oklahoma and USC 1 and 2. Auburn couldn't get past it. They played in the BCS national championship in 2004, and Ronnie Brown and Cadillac and Jason Campbell didn't get to play for the Daddy. I
Correct.
remember things like that.
Correct.
But I can't remember what I had
For
this
breakfast.
morning, or like I can't remember like a lot of things. Like I come to you sometimes and I have something very important to say to you,
Yeah.
and then something will happen and it's gone.
Gone.
It's just gone. Well, guess what? It's not just me.
It's not just you.
Scientists are trying to figure out why IQs around the world are dropping, and they've been dropping and on the decline since 1975. They don't think it has anything to do with actually our intelligence and the IQ falling, but they think it has to do with basically all the outside factors, from microplastics to cell phone towers to our diet with all the processed foods and our attention just looking at
Blame it on
Google.
TikTok.
We don't remember anything. Like, you know, I know my social, my driver's license number, my credit card numbers, like the CVV number on the back of all
On the
them
back of your
joints.
strip.
Like, I'm ridiculous. I'll get my license plate. Like, who cares? 082856668. I got 3 6s in that jump, by the way. That scares the hell out of me.
3 6.
When I got that license, I said to myself, oh no, man, I'm gonna get pulled over all the time. You gotta change my number. It's like, please.
Yeah, 3 6s.
Man, damn. But like now we don't remember anything like that. I can't remember anybody's. I don't know Chas's number. I could if I didn't have my phone. Did you know? I just realized back in the day, like it was a payphone situation.
Oh yeah. PayPal.
I could not dial her number. I have no idea. I know there's a 901 in it.
Yeah. There's very few numbers I could dial as well.
I know 3608255 because I say it all the time. It's the text and listener line because life's too short for ordinary jewelry. But yeah, man, everybody says we are all getting dumber. So we got something to look forward to, I guess.
So in case of emergency, who are you calling? You're dialing 360-8255 in case of a commercial?
This is so sad now that I think about the numbers that I know.
Uh-huh. In case of an emergency, who was John going to a payphone
my
to call?
My friends are probably, most of the numbers I remember, my friends are dead. Yeah. And then I know my mom and my dad's number.
I know who I'd call in case of emergency. I'm calling Britt. Brett would pick up.
Do you know his number by heart?
Nope, I don't know stats.
See, you better start. And Brett would pick up. It
Oh, yeah,
doesn't
Brett
matter
would
what
pick up.
time.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what time. I would say
he would
Brett
take
pick
care
up.
of you.
I would say
That's
Brett
actually.
would.
I need to memorize.
You
Brett's
need to
number
memorize Brett's number for emergency purposes.
in case of an emergency.
Absolutely.
Dude, did you see Jake Paul was partying with the USO Olympic team and everything in
Yeah, he
Paris
was
and all that
getting
stuff?
it in, yeah.
But did you see like Jake Paul? Did you see him getting carried out of the place because his security team? He was that drunk and almost fell on his face.
No. What?
Yeah, man. Like, he was sloppy drunk. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think he was just drunk. There's no way. Like, you had to eat a bunch of benzos, right? Don't you
To
think?
be that way.
Like, don't be mixing
Look at
benzos
him.
and alcohol, peeps.
Oh, yeah, he's
you won't
bad.
remember nothing. Yeah. You'll be on automatic pilot, and you'll the next day wake up, you won't remember anything, and you will have said some stupid things and done some really dumb things.
Oh, man.
I can tell you from experience.
Little experience.
Don't do it. Let's see. What was
What
the
is
other whack stuff that I had? If I can open this junt. Tyreek Hill's been doing some interesting. Oh, yes. This is what I was going to say. The Las Vegas Police Union. They're at odds with the NFL. Did you hear about this?
No, tell us.
And I'm sorry, I have to say, like, this doesn't, like, this is, I think actually the police union is 100% right. So the NFL wants, for the police who are working their events, okay, they want now, because, like, when they would get credentialed, because, you know, like, even media gets credentials, and you don't think about police getting credentialed because they're like police.
But you see them there all the time.
They're there, but they actually have to get credentialed and approved to work the event.
Okay.
So,
fair enough.
For the police to get credentialed, they want now, the NFL wants them to send biometric data, which is basically face recognition. You know how you're like,
face recognition.
I won't do that on my phone.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need no facial recognition. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm beautiful.
Yeah.
Damn
But most people do it because we can't remember our passwords.
Well, see, I don't do it because let me tell you a secret. I had a really good friend of mine.
Stood over here.
My dude, man, he almost got beat within an inch of his life. So his girlfriend, he was passed out drunk, probably ate some benzos like he wasn't supposed to.
Like Jake Paul, yeah.
Laying there drunker than Cooter Brown. She took his phone, smacked him a few times. Once he opened up his eyes, the facial recognition capture on his phone, she opened up his phone and bing, bang, boom. You know, he was talking to some other women and stuff. He had no way to defend himself. She took baseball bat, busted up his knees. It's bad, man. Bad.
And for that reason, you don't have facial recognition.
Correct. Because I'm not doing anything bad, but I'm going to say it's the government. I don't want the government to know what's going on. But this is true. Like, this is the thing. And by the way, you're sitting there saying, well, John, why wouldn't they give them the biometrical data in their face so they can get in the game? Well, I don't know if you know this. They're police officers. Some of them do undercover things. What if you sell that data and it falls into the wrong hands? What if it's the NFL shares that data? If that data gets out and you have all these officers and you got all their biometrical data, I've watched Blacklist. Like, there's some crazy smart criminals out there like Raymond Reddington.
Crazy smart criminals.
Man, then you know what I'm saying? Like in the police union is saying we can't give you that information
And
because
that's fair enough,
it's not safe for our officers.
It's not. Yeah,
like you don't want to have every officer that's working in NFL games biometric data out there somewhere because everything seems to get hacked, get stolen, get shared, get
And the ransom for that, man, ooh, you'd have to pay a pretty penny to get that.
what is up with all that? So they hacking folks
Yeah,
and taking ransoms.
And ransom. You're gonna receive an email that says pay X amount of money.
I mean, I got hacked before, and I figured
Ask
out
for $20.
Can I tell you something? This is no. I got hacked like this, and I think I figured out what the scam is.
Oh.
So, have you ever been to a website that you probably shouldn't have been to?
Mm-hmm.
So they say that those are dangerous. The free ones are dangerous because they got hackers who are trying to drop viruses on your junk. You know what I'm saying? But here's the virus I think that they put on it because it'll pop up and say, "Oh, 26 viruses have popped on your phone. You need to download." This. It's only going to be $4.99 a month for the rest of your life, and we're going to keep your viruses out. No, I think that's the scam.
That's the scam.
Like, they're the ones hacking is like the security people, I believe. And I might be wrong again. I'm just doing a conspiracy theory.
Spitballing.
But I ain't ever gotten the protection. And you know what? No virus has done messed up my phone.
Touche. I'm with
Now,
you.
I messed up my phone by dropping it and breaking it a few times.
Yeah, but when you see that scam, you just X out of it and keep on pushing.
Mm-hmm. Exactly what
We're
I
not
do.
falling for the scams.
Man,
from
I
the
ain't
scams.
falling
We
for that,
We ain't
man.
falling
Now,
for
Flava Flav, you know who he is, right?
Flavor Flav.
So you know about the Jordan Childs girl who should have got the bronze medal, the gymnast? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
They screwed that up like royally. They gave it to the Romanian. BS. She won. And again, how come we don't hold judges accountable? Y'all screwed up the score by shorting her 0.1 points, which has her medal. Y'all screw up, and
She
then
didn't challenge in time.
oh, a minute.
John.
You got 1 minute, and they turned the
Yeah.
challenge in 1 minute and 4 seconds. Please. Well, you know what, Flava Flav, man? He says screw the bronze medal. He
What's
bought
gonna
her a bronze clock.
Oh, stop it, Flav. You
You
should
know
have bought
how
a
Flav
gold
wears
clock.
the big,
Yeah.
dude, yeah, well, he got her a bronze one. It does look good.
He was actually the U.S.
He was the-
time holder ambassador for the polo team.
Yeah,
I believe.
he loves that polo team.
Love that polo team.
Loves that polo team. And I love talking with all of y'all. And again, I got to tell y'all, on the other side, we're going to do a little something different than normal because a buddy of mine is going to join me. He's very smart. Like I talk about how I'm not the smartest person. Jordan Birnbaum, he is a psychologist, a businessman, went to Cornell. My man's like took over a company, tripled its expectation. They made $50 million doing this. I mean, he's got more, like, dude, his resume is longer than
Poplar.
Good job.
Yeah.
Because the 17 things that entered my head, none of them I could say on the radio. But he's going to join us, and he's going to talk about, therapy, athletics, and basically you're going to learn a little something about your brain. Don't you dare touch the dial. We're back in 2 Shake Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, Automatic Gates Construction tailors custom gate solutions for all your residential, commercial, and industrial needs, including repairs, maintenance, and installation. Automatic Gates Construction specializes in designing and installing automatic gates and fencing that seamlessly blends security, functionality, and aesthetic appeal. Elevate the safety and efficiency of your property with a premium gate solution. Automatic Gates Construction at myautomaticgates.com.
The best golfers on the PGA Tour are coming to Memphis to kick off the FedEx Cup playoffs at the FedEx St. Jude Championship. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM will be broadcasting live at TPC Southwood throughout the day, Wednesday through Friday of tournament week, keeping you up to date with the latest tournament news. Our coverage from TPC Southwood on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM is brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Also sponsored by Sissy's Log Cabin, First National Bank, Ronnie Grisani's, Banyan Tree Realtors, DeSoto Honda, Jim's Place, and South Haven Supply.
Getting engaged is one of life's most spectacular occasions. And when you find your ring at Sissy's Log Cabin, the promise of a lifetime begins with our promise to always provide unmatched quality, superior service, and brilliant natural diamonds. Find your dream engagement ring, wedding bands, and more when you shop Sissy'sLogCabin.com or stop by one of our 6 locations. Begin the rest of your life brilliant. Only at Sissy's Log Cabin, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
Save on O'Reilly Brake Parts Cleaner. Get 2 cans of O'Reilly Brake Parts Cleaner for just $8. Valid in-store only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
4.9-liter V8, 0 to 60, and I'm about to find out.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy, Johnny Radio. It is a lovely Tuesday in the Mid-South. Do a little 2-step in the day. Go to Buster's Liquor Store and grab you a big bottle of Tito's. Because if life hands you lemons, you don't freak out, you don't fret, you don't stress. You just make a lemon drop. Make sure it's with the best. That's Tito's handmade vodka. And then just go next door to Buster's Butcher. Tell the butcher you want a inch thick steak. Maybe eat you a porterhouse, a T-bone, a ribeye strip. I don't know what you want. Filet. You want to get one of those bone-in tomahawk steaks and look like Barney Rubble from the Flintstones? Go right ahead. They got it. It's Buster's Butcher and Buster's Liquor Store. Now with 2 locations, the liquor store. They opened a new one in the Ridgeway Trace Shopping Center. Check it out. Now it's time to switch gears. We're going to talk about, we love athletes. We talk sports all the time. We admire them. Charles Barkley famously said athletes aren't role models. Not so fast, buddy. They are role models. Everybody looks up to them, and they can be great advocates. I was reading a lot of stuff that my man Jordan Birnbaum sent me. He has a resume that is so deadgum long. You go back from his college days where he graduated from Cornell University. He went and got a master's at NYU in industrial organizational psychology. He has worked for business after business, managed over 150 people, generating $50 million. He's done it all. He's very well read, and he loves talking about mental health and about athletes and why they're such good advocates. But first, let's bring on my man Jordan. How you doing this Tuesday, Jordan?
Oh, fantastic. Well, first of all, I have to say I am dying now for a steak and a cocktail.
God, I know.
Because you certainly have painted a pretty vivid picture there. But I really appreciate the opportunity to come on and join you. I love the show and love your energy. And I'm excited to talk about this because, there's so many things for us to admire about athletes. But one of the things that I think sometimes we forget is the courage that they show. Every time that they go out to compete with the chance of failure in front of who knows how many people, that requires an enormous amount of courage, and we kind of take it for granted. And from my perspective, that is part of the reason why that courage, athletes have now shown themselves to be some of the best advocates for getting therapy. I would say that all of the most recent important examples of people coming out and talking about therapy, improving their lives, have been athletes. And, as recently as Simone Biles and Noah Lyle, and then going back to Naomi Osaka or Michael Phelps. And even, to me, the OG here is Ricky Williams, who I think was treated incredibly unfairly and handled the situation with amazing grace. I have so much respect for him. Brandon Marshall was another incredible advocate for mental health. And I think the reason that athletes are so good at talking about this is because they are inherently courageous. If they weren't, they wouldn't want to compete in the first place. And so it's just an extension of who they are. And it's something for us to both admire and to listen to.
When you mention Ricky Williams and you kind of think back on that whole situation, because that's one that really sticks back. I mean, I think about him and Mike Ditka, the photo shoot where they had him dressed up in a deadgum ballerina outfit. He was so uncomfortable for that. It was terrible. Things got worse. Next thing you know, he's doing his interviews in the locker room with his helmet still on. He took time away from sports, went out there and did it, found himself. And not only did he get help, with his mental health, but also he found a bunch of tools, like he said, yoga and meditation and breathing exercises. He didn't just go out there and talk to a doctor. He actually put in the footwork too to actually help himself, because again, a lot of people say they want to get better and they want to heal and they want to be better and they'll listen to somebody, but then they don't do anything that they were told. At least that's how I feel.
You want to talk about a role model. I couldn't agree with you more. I think that watching the way that he both handled his challenges, but also the grace with which he responded to some really ugly behavior from some notable people, in fact, that I think there's just so much for him to be proud of, and which is ironic considering that he was the one who was struggling so publicly with his mental health. So he's a real hero to me, and I think that the way that he has responded, what he has shared, and how he has tried to help people is precisely what I'm talking about. The courage that it requires to show that kind of vulnerability is extraordinary, and not that many people have it. And fortunately, athletes have it in excess. Otherwise, they would not be compelled to compete.
And how does this, like, again, being great advocates, like if you're driving down the road right now and you're, on your lunch break and you're thinking to yourself, man, if, athletes, need to, worry about their mental health, and I'm working and I got bills and I got children and, there's debt and prices are going up, you probably need also, to talk to somebody. And it's not just necessarily talking to somebody. It's about, I think, self-reflection, kind of looking inward to figure out really who you are. Can you kind of talk a little bit about on why it is that we all need mental health?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so glad that it's such an important question. And, before I go down the road of answering that, there's one thing I do want to share that I think is really important about what the data says about therapy, which is there's a lot of different ways that you can do it, and they all work. The important thing is we need to talk to someone with regularity. That's what matters. And therapists are particularly great at doing it because they are able to be, you can be completely honest with them. There's no personal stakes involved. They are really good at understanding how to provide the space to help people feel comfortable as they try to sort of deal with uncomfortable feelings. And ultimately, what I would say is that when you're a human being, it's both a blessing and a curse that you have something that in psychology we call the unconscious. And the way that it works is whenever, especially when you're a kid, whenever you're about to feel something that's really painful, so painful that you're scared it could be like paralyzing, your unconscious blocks you from feeling it to protect you. And this is how all human beings operate. No one is exempt from this. And the problem is that the pain that we don't feel becomes suppressed, and that becomes a problem. And the reason why something like therapy is required for everyone is because it's only in talking with another person that you are forced to complete the painful thought. If you're left to your own devices, you will always stop yourself from fully articulating the painful thought. You have to share it with someone else to get to the end of the sentence. And if you don't get to the end of the sentence, it's really difficult to heal. And so that's why, for all people, therapy matters. And the fact that athletes are talking about it, it's not that therapy only matters for athletes. It's that athletes are so courageous that they're able to talk about it.
And they kind of help normalize it for, because if you look and you say to yourself, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Ricky Williams, Simone Biles. Again, Simone Biles, who's the GOAT, the greatest Olympian of all time. She got in her head. She was having the twisties. Like, she didn't know why. She didn't know what was going on. She needed to go out there and get that help. And again, there's so, like if you're driving down the road, and I use this, I feel like, this is one of the things that I struggled with when I was a lot younger. When you talk about how your unconscious just kind of, you push things to the back. Anything that I didn't like or was difficult, like I would just basically, like if I'm in my car, it's basically like I throw it to the back seat. And then all of a sudden you keep throwing stuff in the back seat, slam on your brakes, and all that stuff comes out at once. And then you almost feel paralyzed. And you need to get the mental health actually before it comes to that. And it is interesting though, because when, if you look at these athletes and you think of them as invincible, and then you kind of really feel how fragile, each individual is. Because, man, I don't care who you are. Everybody's dealing with some what.
Oh, yeah. It's part of life. How can you not? Every time that you love something, you eventually are going to lose it one way or the other. Life, there is necessary pain in life. It's unavoidable. Loss is part of it. Failure is part of life. There's hurting that's involved in this existence. And we have to be healthy enough to feel it. And sometimes if we start practicing at a very young age to not feel stuff that hurts, we end up in the situation that you just described. And by the way, that was a fantastic metaphor. I've never heard it before. Nicely done.
Thanks.
If we throw too much stuff, that's exactly right. If you throw too much stuff into the back seat, eventually you got to slam on your brakes, and it's not going to be pretty. And so I think your point is exactly right. We have to start dealing with this before we slam on the brakes. I'm sure Simone Biles would tell us, start therapy before you get the twisties. But if you get the twisties, then start therapy then. It's never the wrong time to just start talking to somebody. And so if you're driving in your car and you've thought about this before, I would say go online and look for local resources. Sometimes there are students who can offer very affordable counseling. And like I said, just talking to someone regularly is incredibly helpful. That's not my opinion. That's science. So I encourage everyone to do it because if you're human, this can really, really help. And that's what I want for everybody, is to just feel better in life. It's hard enough as it is.
And yeah, it really is. It is hard enough, and everybody needs a little bit of help. But I also got to just go back and circle around because ever since you sent me this information from Psychology Today when you talked about why athletes are the best advocates for therapy, and you wrote that wonderful article, I was reading about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and I've never read anything that he's written. All I thought about him is before LeBron passed him as the all-time points leader, superstar, hook shot, L.A. Laker Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Man, his writings, and you even put it in there, and you can go to KareemAbdulJabbar.com and just read some of his work. Like, he might be a better writer than a basketball player.
I completely agree, and that should be impossible. He is really one of my heroes. I think that when I discovered his Substack, my jaw would drop because my jaw would drop just from the quality of the writing and how much it would, like, I felt like it would, reach in and grab my soul kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And so the writing by itself left me, kind of flabbergasted. The fact that it's coming from the Skyhook guy is like, how is that possible? But he is, he's a modern day Leonardo da Vinci. He is the truest example of a Renaissance man that I can think of. And I think really, again, you talk about a role model. I try to be as much like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as I possibly can be. And I could never get there, but the way that he thinks about life and how he shares of himself is, for me, one of the greatest inspirations I could ever imagine.
When you're when you read his work, you kind of can, you feel to yourself that this is somebody who's definitely done a little self-exploration. He's, he feels everything. And again, he talks about such a broad subjects, from personal relationships to politics to his own feelings in his, ineptitudes. It's just, I don't know. I just did not expect it. And it's something you might want to check out because I think it's a crazy good read. And again, it's therapeutic. And if a guy like him is, who's done everything. Back in the day, I remember he used to be buddies with Bruce Lee, and there's just he was in Airplane. This guy you wouldn't think of, the great basketball player who's a deep thinker. The greatest, yeah, and one of the deepest thinkers you would ever understand. It's just pretty wild. By the way, I was kind of curious, is there anybody else that you found athletic like that is on his level?
I don't know that I found another human being that's on his level in any regard. So no, his brain is really extraordinary. The one other thing I just want to point out about Kareem also that is so special is that the UCLA basketball program under John Wooden is probably the single greatest accomplishment in the history of organizational psychology. And Kareem was an absolute foundation of that. And so he also learned under undoubtedly the greatest coach in the history of athletics was John Wooden. And he understood human psychology even more than he understood basketball. And so it's not that surprising that the two of them intersected.
Man, that is just... I never even thought about it like that because you just think about the championships and all the great players from Abdul-Jabbar to Walton and everything in between. And what did you call it? What did you call the UCLA basketball program?
The greatest accomplishment in the history of organizational psychology.
God, I love it. Never thought of the basketball program like that, and they also won a whole lot. One other thing I wanted to bring up because I thought this was fascinating. Why are rock stars and athletes actually different? Because you always hear rock stars want to be athletes, athletes want to be rock stars. I thought what you wrote on that was just fascinating.
Yeah, well, it's I imagine that athletes would have a lot of fun being rock stars, but I don't think that the opposite is true. Yeah, it's easy to say rock stars want to be athletes, but what would happen to Slash if he was opening Sweet Child of Mine and then all of a sudden a 300-pound lineman comes running across the stage to tackle him? You know, I don't think rock stars realize that nobody is trying to make them fail. When athletes go out to perform, the most talented people in the world are trying to make them fail. To compare athletics and being a rock star is really not to understand what's happening.
So, Jordan, by the way, what are you working on these days? I mean, you're a speaker, writer. You've worked in so many businesses. What do you got coming down the pipe? What are you working on right now?
So I'm doing all sorts of stuff. So I work with businesses on two fronts. One is to drive people development. So I've got great clients like ADP, where I work with them to help their leaders understand how they can engage with their teams in ways that will make their teams perform better and feel better. And then I also do work, for example, with a company called Alvaria, where I'll take a look at their product designs and share with them, hey, here's how behavioral science can tell you that you might be able to get higher conversion rates by eliminating some of these options and focusing their energies more down this path. So in terms of where, that's what my consulting business does, but as you mentioned, I'm doing a lot of writing for Psychology Today, and eventually I will call you back when I'm ready to start pitching my book.
Man, make sure you do that, Jordan. I appreciate it. And also stop taking advices from CEOs is also an interesting read. Go to psychologytoday.com, again, from athletes being great advocates. It's just a great read. You do such a fabulous job. And I just want to say I appreciate your time so much.
Gosh. Right back at you. This was one of my favorite conversations of the year. So I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to come on, and I hope that people found it reasonably important.
Man, get out there, take care of your mentals. You know what I'm saying? Jordan, be blessed. We'll do it again. When you got that book coming down, please make sure you send it to me, and we'll get you on air, all right?
I promise. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That is my man, Jordan Birnbaum. Dude's got more, dude's just very accomplished, but also he's also a deep thinker. Man, he also is really smart. You know what he just said?
Most deep thinkers are smart, Joe.
You know, he said that was one of the best conversations he had. It made me feel really good.
You got in there. You leaned into it.
I love that, man. I love that. You know, I go get my mentals checked all the time.
And I resonate with you. The whole trash in the back. Where do we go outside? I just want to show you.
Man, I'm telling you.
That back seat is something else.
One other thing I was going to tell also, since I'm thinking about this, women, if you're curious, if you ever want to know really what a man wants and you want to make your man happy, all you have to do is praise him. That's all men want. We just want to be praised. At least that's the way I feel. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think I'm pretty right. Like if you walk in the door, baby, you look good. Oh, baby, your show's so funny. Oh, baby, you make the most money. Look at that grass. It's so, man, you just be doing all things because you want praise.
My next question is, how much you want? What do you want?
Yeah. See, now that's you jaded, son.
You just know it's coming.
You just need to get on the mental.
She don't tell me I'm cute every day. You want something when you're doing it.
Oh, man. I also want to make sure everybody knows if you want to get a perfect finish every time, it's at Rick's Powder Coating. No, it's not paint. It's powder coating. It's science. It's like metal and a powder, and then bam! They put it in these batch ovens on these conveyor belts, and it sticks. It's like it's never going to come off. It lasts like 100 years. 10,000 times better than paint. Yeah, those are my figures. Seriously, though, give Rick a call at 901-367-2771. That's 901-367-2771. Or go to rickspowdercoating.com. Again, automotive, ornamental, residential, industrial. They got you at Rick's Powder Coating because they have 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South. When you need powder coating done, it's Rick's Powder Coating. Go to rickspowdercoating.com. We're back in 2 shakes. We got to give you a bet on the other side. And damn it, there was a funny story that I had to tell, and that's that short-term memory loss thing I got going on.
You got to call Jordan, man.
Dadgummit. Back in 2 shakes. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Moving is stressful, but Black Tie Moving can take the worry out of the process. Whether you're moving across town or across country, moving your home or your office, your personal moving concierge from Black Tie Moving will work with you to design a plan that perfectly fits your budget and needs. And they're available 24/7 to answer any questions you have. Give Black Tie Moving a call at 901-316-6196 or go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis to get your
ice train truck to roll by. Now, you just can't wait for the Harbor Freight parking lot sale to roll around. And it'll be here this weekend. Maybe you're looking to fill up that tool chest. Maybe you're looking for a tool chest to fill up. You'll save money either way. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight. Valid until August 18th, 2024. While supplies last. Limitations apply.
DQ presents... Picture this. Picture the DQ $7 bacon cheeseburger meal deal. Not just a cheeseburger, a bacon cheeseburger. Plus fries, drink, and a sundae. All full-sized, all for $7. Because everything's better with bacon. Everything's also better with a side of fries, a refreshing drink, and a sundae to finish. Yum. The $7 bacon cheeseburger meal deal. Now for a limited time on the $7 meal deal lineup. DQ. Happy tastes good.
Jenkins Floors and More invite you to their retail warehouse where they pass wholesale savings on to you. Jenkins Floors in Little Rock, Cleveland, Mississippi, and now open in Horn Lake at 2356 West Goodman Road. Specializing in flooring and carpeting, tile, plantation shutters, and blinds, Jenkins makes your life easy with a 2-week turnaround. Contractors, builders, or family projects, call 662-469-9350 for a free estimate. Owners Timmy and Rebecca Jenkins say hello to Sports 56 fans and look forward to your business.
It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights, open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready. In jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
But you gotta be willing to take the hit and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that and that ain't you. You're better than that.
Now back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. It is a 2 for Tuesday, and you know that means hopping on into Buster's Liquor Store, grabbing a big bottle of Tito's, the best spirit in the entire world. By the way, we talk about all these medals. Man, you know, 3 years in a row, Tito's has won the gold medal ribbon for the greatest vodka tonic in the history of the world. Yep, you got that right. Gold medal Tito's. Plus, it's American vodka. Another medal to add to our medal count. That puts us one ahead of China, by the way, now. Tito's. If life hands you lemons, don't freak out, don't fret, don't stress. Just make a lemon drop. Make sure it's with the best, and that's Tito's handmade vodka. Don't forget, too, by the way, after you leave Buster's Liquor Store, you just walk right next door to Buster's Butcher and get you maybe a T-bone steak, a little Tito's and a T-bone. Get you a porterhouse, actually. You get the strip, get the filet, get that heart.
I'm a filet guy.
Man, I'm like, I switch it up a lot. Like, I go back and forth all the time. Ugh, I love me some steak. And the steak that I always eat is from Buster's Butcher. You can learn more at bustersbutcher.com. And you can head on over there at 199 South Highland Street. They're open from 10 to 6 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sunday. We got baseball on today, man. I don't know if you know this. Baseball kind of makes you go broke.
It will.
I won a arsenal of cash during football. I mean, I had a stack. I had one of the best years I've ever had in my entire life. And then I had the best NBA playoff run. I didn't bet a single game during the NBA playoffs before the game started. I did in-live betting.
Oh, yeah.
I was tearing up the totals, the sides. I was slapping people left and right, man. Because, you know, if you just watch an NBA basketball game, you kind of can get a feel.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you know what? I say that, too. The live bet, yep.
You bet before the game, and your brain
you don't
is
know.
blown. You have no idea who the hell's going to show up.
Yeah. But once it starts, you get a
man,
feeling who's hot, who's not.
Man, and you're like, damn, I'm doing this, baby. Doing this, man. Now, but baseball, it's like sometimes I feel like I'm just throwing darts. Like Blake Snell goes out there and doesn't give up a damn run, is just absolutely electric. And the Braves, who've just been bungling up everything, somehow still don't score with Chris Sale, but yet the Braves pull it out 1-0 in the late innings. I lost. Yesterday, I can't imagine if you took the late Yankees and you laid the 350. And then you watch the White Sox come out there and whip their keister.
Actually had the under. The under was 9, and they go ahead put
Dude, what was it? 6 runs in the 7th inning, and this is the White Sox, and you're like, During their 21-game losing streak, did you know that out of those 21 games, in 18 of them, they scored 3 or fewer runs? So this is a team that couldn't score 3 runs in a baseball game.
They didn't have an arsenal
for
of
over
runs.
a month, and they scored 6 runs in the 7th inning on the Yankees. The hell's going on? It's got me all twisted. But man, I look at like the Braves and the Giants today. Again, minus 110. Yesterday, if you wanted to take it Atlanta, it was minus 110. If you took San Francisco, it was minus 110. You had Chris Sale going against Blake Snell. Today is Charlie Morton. He's going against Kyle Harrison. Now, not a huge advantage either way. Pretty much, their numbers are very, very, very similar. Morton 6-7 with a 4.4 ERA. Harrison 6-5 with a 4.08. But it is in San Francisco, and the Braves, my God, they've been terrible, especially of late. I'm going back to the whale. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to double up my bet. Let's just say I put a bill on it yesterday. I'm putting 2 on it today because I'm winning back from yesterday, and I'm getting my money today.
Get it, John.
We going with the Giants. After I do that, though, you know what I'm going to do? I might get, I got a new gate from Automatic Gates Construction. Did you know that?
No.
A year ago, actually, this time last year, I got that bad boy. I'm going to tell you right now, they're locally owned, they're locally operated. They are awesome, and they can tailor a custom gate solution for your residential or commercial needs or industrial needs. They got you covered, and I'm telling you right now, let them elevate the safety and efficiency of your property with a premium gate solutions. Go to myautomaticgates.com. For Darian Newsom, I'm John Harden. Get out there, make the world a better place. See you on the flip side. Peace.
At Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee, they're proud to be here for their neighbors while giving back to communities across the state throughout the year, every year. This month, they're honored to stand alongside 1,600 dedicated volunteers as they make this year's annual FedEx St. Jude Golf Tournament fundraiser a resounding success. Giving back to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, which helps treat and defeat childhood cancer, is a meaningful effort that is very close to their hearts. This year, their goal is to reach $3 million in donations for kids at St. Jude's, and they couldn't do it without the support of their amazing volunteers. To all the participants, thank you for being a part of this most important endeavor to lift up so many families across the state from right here in Memphis, Tennessee. To read more about Team Blue volunteers, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee, Healthy Places, and other ways they're devoted to helping our communities, please visit bcbst.com. Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
Genesis Diamonds' most extreme value on diamonds is coming to an end. You have until Sunday at 5 p.m. to get the price of a lifetime on a certified GIA diamond ring.
The response has been incredible. People have driven for hours to buy like a dealer buys. All GIA certified diamond rings are on sale. A full 20% discount off Genesis' amazing everyday value price.
Talking values you never thought possible. 5 carat to 20 carat diamonds. All maximum values and all by the most prestigious jewelry.
Don't be surprised to see jewelry stores and diamond dealers shopping alongside you.
Genesis has the largest jewelry diamond selection you've ever seen. Special cuts, pear-shaped, emerald cuts.
There's an institution in East Memphis that I love talking about. It's the Spirit Shop at 4848 Poplar Avenue, right down the street from Clark Tower, and it looks like a log cabin. It's been around Memphis since 1969 with a family-owned, friendly, knowledgeable sales staff that is just a wonderful place to go. I love going in and talking wine or bourbons, and they've got such great selection. So if you've not visited the Spirit Shop in a while, it's been remodeled. You'll love what you see when you need spirits. Tell Eddie Wollo said hello.
Memphis, the playoffs are back. Come see the PGA Tour's best compete for the trophy at the FedEx St. Jude Championship, August 14th through 18th. Witness the drama as 70 players arrive in Memphis and only 50 move on. Tickets are on sale now at FedExChampionship.com.
Doom starter Sam Darnold is in line to start Week 1. NFL media reports the 49ers and the Steelers have a deal on a potential trade involving receiver Brandon Ayuk. The report says Pittsburgh is in the ballpark on an extension for Ayuk, and that if San Francisco gives the final sign-off, it's a done deal. The Athletic reports the Steelers have been waiting for days to hear back from the Niners. And Michigan coach Sharon Moore said Jim Harbaugh will no longer be an honorary captain for the Wolverines opening game because he does not want to be away from the Chargers. I'm Nick Cope.
Previously on The Herd.
I think the more gifted quarterbacks who are really smart take a little less, get surrounded by better players, win more, and then you're Tom Brady, you retire, and a TV network gives you $30 million a year. But because you won more.
A new day in The Herd starts now.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen.
You guys can laugh at me all you want.
This is The Herd.
Oh, yeah.
The Herd.
With Colin Cowherd.
I'm setting the tone.
Best show on radio. This is The Herd.
Broadcasting live from Los Angeles. The Herd with Colin Cowherd starts now.
All right. It is a Tuesday. We got a good one today. Live in Los Angeles, it's The Herd. Wherever you may be and however you may be listening, thanks for making us part of your day. Michael Rubin, the founder, CEO of Fanatics, stops by. Big shot, Nick Wright. Mark Few, back from Paris and the Olympics, assistant coach for our gold medal winning team, stops by. J-Mac is back in tow today. The show yesterday, last hour, the Jets' Hassan Reddick situation is now more inflamed. They made a move for him. He held out. $5 million in fines. Now he says he wants to be traded. So I was thinking about this driving in this morning and how to position, this story. And I thought, so much for people, for businesses, for life, so much of what we do is not about our actions. It's about how we handle bad days, our reactions. Everybody has bad days. Michael Jordan had bad games, bad days. People get divorced. They go into bankruptcy. Good people. They get, there's scammers everywhere. How do you react to it? How long are your dips? And I can remember my dad saying years ago, like recessions are garage sales for the prepared. Like, how long is the dip? Don't live up, you don't need a fourth jet ski, a third house, and a sixth car. Be ready for the dips from our economy. And so the story comes out for the Jets about Hassan Reddick. And the downside for the Jets is it's not the distraction. Every team has distractions. It's that he's actually a really good player in a place of need because Bryce Huff, who led them with 10 sacks last year and was their highest graded pass rusher according to PFF, went to the Eagles. So they need a pass rusher. It's not the distraction necessarily. It's his talent, his skill, his ability. He plugs a hole. And the Jets have never been good with the dips. This team has very thin margins. Garrett Wilson's their only great receiver. Mike Williams can't stay healthy. Love him, but he can't stay healthy. Their offensive line, Tyron Smith, never gives you a full season. Elijah Vera Tucker, I like him, hurt a lot. So their margins, they are one receiver injury and one running back ankle twist from having issues, and now they've lost their best pass rusher, and the guy they brought in wants to be traded. So their margins are thin. But it's okay, this stuff happens to everybody. But I'll give you an example of people that are prepared. The Chiefs have had to rebuild their O-line, their defense, and their wide receiver room, and yet they end up in Super Bowls and win them. The LA Rams have had massive coaching turnover. McVay's lost 4 coordinators. They have a different defensive coordinator every other year. Aaron Donald now leaves. Andrew Whitworth leaves. Matt Stafford's been hurt. Cooper Kupp is out. 7 years, McVay, 5 playoffs, 2 trips to the Super Bowl. They draft well. Their dips are brief. The Ravens have lost great coaches. They've missed on draft picks. Lamar's been hurt. They've lost people to free agency. And the Ravens are always in the Super Bowl bubble. Philadelphia signed Carson Wentz to a huge deal. Then they moved off him. They won a Super Bowl with Nick Foles. Doug Peterson, they move off him. They hire Nick Sirianni. They get to another Super Bowl. Everybody in life has dips. Action is about 50% of life. The other 50 is reaction. How do you handle the dips? The Jets don't handle them well. So it's not just that their GM missed on a left tackle and a quarterback, because he's hit on like 8 to 10 players. But those are ones you can't miss on, especially over a 2-3 year period. Their head coach, he's had public snafus, calling out Aaron Rodgers. Why are you going there? And if you've had public snafus, you've probably done stuff behind the scenes that's not great either in meetings or in, conversations. So it's not that the Jets necessarily make more bad moves than everybody else, but they're not good with the dips. The Rams were supposed to be in a rebuild. They were a play away from the NFC Championship last year with an incredibly young roster. Aaron Rodgers leaves the Green Bay Packers. A year later, they're better. Everybody's losing star quarterbacks. Everybody's dealing with injuries. Everybody's